good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you are watching this PD. I hope that you have found a convenient spot to listen in and participate when your time allows. Based on the needs assessment I conducted, it was apparent that we needed more ways to engage students in discussions, particularly in a way that did not feel threatening to them. So some students felt like face to face discussions weren't best for them. And so I'm here to show you two tools that could really give another option for your students who are more shy or maybe who can't public speak as much. But still be able to meet those AKS standards centered around speaking and literacy, regardless of what your content area is. So you should have opened your email already and done the Google survey. That was again done before the PD, but just in case you haven't done it, please go do that right now. It's just asking you what is your preferred tool of discussion. All right, and I'm going to be going over two tools that I love to use and that I think can be used in any subject, and that would be Flip and Google Docs. So Flip is formerly known as Flipgrid. They've switched it just to Flip because they have expanded what it can do in a lot of ways. So I'm going to begin by showing you just some screenshots. This is generally what a landing page will look like for a teacher. These are all of my groups. So you can see that I have different groups for different classes. You can even have subgroups based on maybe your periods or the levels that you have in your classes, whatever works for you. And then within that, you can see how many topics each one has. And basically, updated is going to tell you when the last student would have recorded. This is a single class. This is the view that you will see. So you can see this class has done 2, 3 videos for me. All right. And I'm going to be showing you how to make those videos later on. But again, I just want to show you how simple this is for teachers. You can see it looks a lot like other tools you use, maybe Google Classroom, and it's very user friendly. So if this is your first time using this, which for many of you it is, I'm hoping that this is going to be an easy way to integrate online discussions into your class. And then this is what it looks like once a class has recorded. So you can see there's even a record button if I wanted to record a response. You can see everything from how many times it's viewed. This 0 hours of discussion is incorrect because I have this hidden, so it's not going to show you that. But you can see based on the students, they put in their name, it tells you the date that they completed it, and it's very easy to search for a student. All right, so you can see over here. And if I wanted to know which students had completed it and which students had not, a student comes in and says, hey, Miss Dalton, have I completed it? I can quickly search their name and see if they have indeed finished. All right. Some key features for students that I want to highlight, there's the ability to hide videos, which is really important for those students who are more shy, or if you are discussing or debating maybe a more personal issue, that would be really helpful. Whenever I tell my students I'm hiding the video, that always gives them a chance to breathe easier. If you're not going to hide it, students can still place filters on their video, which they enjoy. Sometimes, depending on the topic, they might actually use these in order to deliver their message. So, for example, when I've done a eulogy for a book character in the past, students have used the dark filter. Some students have put on pretend hats or the rain filter. So there are a lot of things that they can do. Students can like and react to other students' posts, so very similar to social media, which makes it easy and useful for them. They can have emoji reactions, they can have hearts, thumbs up, etc. I've done different things where if we are making a discussion and students have to go evaluate another student's post, they have to like 3 posts, and whoever gets the most likes, for example, might be given some type of bonus. Students can comment on another student, and they can even record a response. So if you want written or video response, they can do that. And then students are able to also just record audio if they are really uncomfortable with their face. That last screenshot I showed you was what my students had figured out. And so many of them decided not to show their face, which is fine. Of course, I tell them that I would love to see their smiling face, especially given that it's just me looking at it, or that they can use filters. But if that's an option for students, that's there as well. Some key features for teachers, there are time limits that you can put on it. There are minimum and maximum times. There are moderator settings. So if you're not sure about, you have a group of students that might get inappropriate, or you need to check what they're saying before you put it out there, you can do that. Grading is embedded within the video. You can make a private comment to students, and then there is even a chance to create a rubric for your question and insert that right there, so you can have rubric grading within the platform. This is what a recorded video looks like. Again, this was a student who just decided to use audio, but you can see all the features from a teacher standpoint. So I can record a response, I can write a comment right here, and then this is for me to toggle between the different assignments that were given, and then I can add my comment right here. And if students had commented, I would see those right here. All right, oops. So it's very user-friendly, again, especially even if you haven't used it. Don't be afraid. In this next section of the PD, you're going to actually be responding to a question that I've posted. And so look forward to seeing that from that end. All right, this is the part where I want you to pause this video, and you can proceed to the flip link that I provided for you and simply record a response. Commenting and responding to a colleague can be done later. Obviously, if you're the first person to get on this video, you're not going to have anybody to comment back. So check in later this week, and perhaps you can make a comment or like a friend's post later on. So I'm going to give you a second to pause the video. Okay, we are back, and we are moving on to our Google Docs point, which everyone is like, Google Docs, we know how to use that. But this is a cool new way for you to use it. I'm going to go ahead and begin by showing you an example. Pull over here. And this is one I did with a novel that we read in my online class, but I wanted them to engage in discussion. And so what you can see is I have the directions up top. You would change what requirements are necessary, okay? But you're just going to simply create a table, all right? So you would go to Insert, and you're going to go to Table, and you'll build whatever you want. That's all what you see. That's all this is. It's a table that's filled in then with our fill color, right? I like to color code it. So different questions have different colors. Again, this is an example from a small class. And then it's pretty simple from there. If you've used an online discussion board, this is the same idea, except this is a secure document that you decide who can access. So you can share that access with students. You can create an assignment multiple times within groups on Google Classroom. And you would just really go down and put whatever your questions are here. I give them pretty good directions. So this class understood well their original response. They needed their name first. And then they had requirements of how long it needed to be. And then they would respond to this person. So you can see Sam and Colby both responded to Elizabeth. All right. Now, my students, you might be concerned about them erasing each other's work. I'll get to that in a little bit. But my students really did well with it, and they didn't seem to have too much trouble. Here's question 2. You can see again, they're all engaging. There are only 3 students who read this book, so these 3 were mostly together. All right, and you would put as many questions as you want. I'm going to scroll on down to an example I made with a bigger group. And so you can see here in this box, again, these were adults that I used this with. So they spaced their answers out more. We had multiple responses from multiple students. And that's just basically the general idea. All right, and so you can change it. You can make it themed to what you're doing. I want to show you a few key screenshots. So again, this is my example I made. Again, I really like the idea of having some separation, whether it's with color coding or different fonts. That seems trivial, but it matters when these students are doing this assignment either at home on their own or even in class by themselves. Some key features for students is version history. So if you're familiar with Google Docs at all, you're going to know this feature. But in order to have this online discussion really work, this has helped me because I did have 1 or 2 students who said their work got erased or maybe it got overridden with something else. So when you go to the File button, you'll see down here it says Version History. It clicks out and you can see every user that had commented. So this document that I was pulling it from is from past students. So it says deleted user, but originally this would have said every student's name. All right. And I can see every time a student made an edit to it. All right. So I can see if a student does it late. I can see if a student says they were on it when really they weren't. All right. Anything like that. This is going to be basically a time log sheet of the document. So, for example, if you're sitting in class and your students are supposed to be doing this live in class, you can follow along as they're going through each piece. If you click on a version, it will then show you something like this, all right? Depending on the color, so I'm pretty sure this came from the February 21st model, you can see the green, all right, shows you what that user changed on that day. And then you can see also with the purple what was given again. All right, so again, it seems like Elizabeth maybe did this post earlier in the day and she came back to it and made these changes in green. And then we see Sam come in and make these changes in purple. All right. So again, really explaining to the students that this is a collaborative document. All their work is showing up, and just like if they were really in class, you can see and hear everything they're doing. You can see that through the document. So I love this feature. They can really put their ideas out there in a comfortable way. This is also good if you're, an English teacher or a history teacher, and you're going to need them to cite and maybe quote things. Perhaps they'll be more comfortable typing it out and checking their work rather than just explaining it live in class. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video again, or you're going to pause it, and proceed to the Google Doc discussion that I gave you, where you can have an original answer. And then I would love also, again, sometimes in the next day or two, go back and comment on your colleagues, classmates, and let them know what you thought of their post. And I'm going to be able to see each person in real time what's happening. So go ahead and pause this video and go head to that link. All right, thank you so much. I hope this was simple and attainable. Please complete the exit survey that I've sent you in your email. It's just going to ask how you feel about these tools, and that's going to allow me to follow up with any of you who need more, maybe some one-on-one time. And also, it's going to let me know how effective you thought today was, in which case that's going to help me in the future. I appreciate it. Go Dogs.